All right, welcome to another episode from the chart reader. My Tilray video went a lot longer than I expected. Sorry about that, but I will cover the rest here, kind of echoing a couple things on that last one. But again, I was very hyped on Friday. Obviously, 70% nearly, right? 68 was the final close here. As much as everyone was talking about the squeeze and the hype for more, I at least gave my thoughts of how much this can still come down and remain bullish. I hope you were able to use that. Again, you know nothing's financial advice, right? But one thing I always do say is there are red candles in healthy uptrends. Nothing is, I know the meme world wasn't that long ago, right? But it's not just greens, right? I love saying green, you know that, but good healthy red isn't that bad. It helps reset stuff so that you can keep going, right? So that'll kind of be the echo. And then again, I will try to cover a couple more stocks since I got through Tilray. But yeah, excited here. But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, especially if you can actually share the video. It's a click away and oh my, it does amazing things for the algorithms, all right? So let's get into it. And I really want to start by saying thank you to the viewers. So I said it on the Tilray one. Look, I learned a lot about Germany on the last video. I think it was on Saturday or Friday maybe. But number 3 economy in the world, a very big powerhouse behind that, right? And I believe there are 2 rumors that are coming, even though we already know the news and even though we already know the facts, right? So the facts clearly are that Germany is legalizing. It will be legal as of April 1st, all right? April 1st is Q2 for most companies, right? The first 3 months are Q1, then you go to Q2. In my opinion, there is a rumor brewing that the 3rd biggest economy in the world is going to bring real big numbers, all right? Because let's be honest, weed is a vice that a lot of people like, all right? And if you're going to start taxing some vices that people like, and you're going to do it in the 3rd biggest economy in the world, I think that should be something that illuminates. And look, I even said on the last one, it's not necessarily even about number 4, number 5, number 1, like number 37 in the world can see what Germany's doing and, you know, maybe think to themselves, hey, that might help us go up 4 or 5 pegs, right? Like, again, I think there's going to be a lot of rumor expectations with the financial side of what comes with it. My guess was that would maybe happen like mid-May, give or take. Again, give me like a month and a half. Let's see what it looks like. That can maybe help us forecast the next month and a half. There you go, right? Obviously, we're going to want more data, but yeah, I think the first 3 months is going to be big, all right? The next really cool viewer comment, and I mean, I had absolutely no idea, was apparently CGC has an export certification, and I'm trying to remember the letters and I don't remember it, but apparently they have the ability to import and or export due to this certification, all right? That is a really big differentiator. And I was hoping to get a little more info on that. I don't know how many companies have that. I don't know if CGC is the only public company that has that, if they're the biggest company, right? This, that. I have so many questions about that. But having a competitive advantage. One of the things that I hate about the US rules in this sector is you can't do things across state lines. Imagine if Apple needed to set up a whole new factory in your state just to sell phones. Get out of here. right? Like the ability to import and export is huge in an industry, in a sector that's actually very much restricted and regulated from doing that, right? So I am actually putting some good weight into that certification. I'd love to hear a little bit more if anyone knows it, all right? Let's get into the technical side of it, all right? A very, very big day on Friday. Again, we talked about it, almost 70%. Okay, we break not just one but two, and the two biggest of the five, right? So monster candle, monster percent, monster technical breaks. Okay, everyone was screaming pump, everyone was screaming squeeze. One thing I really echoed was, look, do not lose more than half of this candle. Don't lose more than about $6 if I had to guess, right? This looks like roughly the half line, right? This is the top half, that's the bottom half. Lo and behold, we didn't, all right? That's something that could have been taken advantage of, this, that, and those, right? Nonetheless, one of the things I said was just stay above the lines, and I'm going to still believe. I still need a little bit more to believe we've broken the lines. I don't think we've confirmed anything just yet, but we're not talking about all-time lows anymore. There is a lot of red, green, red. Like you can see, we're basically sitting right here, and this isn't much of a little horizontal. That's half a month of something, and not even that many big candles, right? So I'm a little surprised we didn't. Oh, I guess you could say we wicked that. That's funny. I'm surprised we didn't close a little closer to here. Nonetheless, this seems like it wants to come to that 9 line right there. Yeah, I didn't, and it's funny. So in the Discord, someone said $8 might be a tough number to break. I actually didn't think it was going to be, and I obviously saw it pass it at one point. But interesting to see what happened with that. Yeah, I'm still feeling it wants to come to 9 again. Look. RSI ran super high. RSI was able to reset. That's what I call a healthy cool down. 77 still a high number, but hey, when it was just at 91, I gotta believe we're gonna go up to 83, 84, right? Look, there are a couple ways to look at volume. Obviously, that's a down, and no one wants that, right? This isn't necessary. I mean, that's actually not that bad. I'm actually skipping this one. I'm going from this. Let's even just start from here. That right there is actually not a crazy slope of a line. So I think that's actually a relatively healthy growth in terms of volume. I'm looking at these two and that one, obviously, right? And then same thing I said with Tilray. More people are not just, look, every single one of these days since the uptrend has been over the 50-day average, right? If, like, can I exclude these if I go this way? Give me a sec. Look at this. Look at that, right? It wasn't that long ago. We were struggling, getting below, getting like nowhere near the 50 until these last couple days, right? So volume is king, volume is queen for my ladies out there, right? And that's been story number 1, getting over that 50. Story 2 simply is the fact that people are accumulating here. People are buying and not selling. People are buying and not selling. Even the big scary day wasn't that big a sell-off, right? So there are a lot of people that are still holding this, and that is good. I don't want volume to just break this line. I want to believe people are holding, you know? So I need confirmation, all right? I need confirmation, and really, I need this line. I guess 860 would be good enough, and I think it'd be a little greedy for me to say that wouldn't be good enough. I think that's my minimum, though. I need an 860 close, and I know that that's a lot. That is actually asking for, wow, maybe 20%, right? I'm actually trying to add $1.40 to that. If you're going to give me a 70% day that breaks the 2 biggest moving averages on a single day, yeah, I'm going to set my criteria a little loud. I am. You know what I mean? So that's what I want. The one thing I want, listen, you know that this is only a $7 stock, all right? Do not have dreams above 20, let alone above 10, all right? But look at just red, like if this crosses this line, there's not going to be a lot stopping it. Because again, as I zoom out, there's still actually not a lot. Like there is nothing right there. A little bit of something here, and then again, a whole, like CGC has been a lot of pain. All that red, 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 man, this thing could be a real interesting play. Just keep your expectations realistic. That's going to go a long way, all right? On the weekly, you can see it. We are trying to get over this 50 moving average. If the 50 breaks, I mean, I'm not going to say necessarily it's going to run to the 100, but that's still a really healthy 63. MACD looks like it's getting ready to come into the positive. And again, what has been nothing but horrible weeks of horribleness, horrible. Just look at this thing, right? Like this weekly volume screams it way more than the price, I think, all right? There's some interesting things happening. And again, I am seeing what looks like an ugly volume, right? But I think the daily says a little bit better of a story, and that's and again, it's still really early in this week, right? So you know, Friday is a day off, so it's actually halfway in the week. I'm taking that back. But yeah, CGC, I think these are good thoughts. Let me know if you agree, let me know if you disagree. Let's take a look at let's look at high tide, and then let's see what other time I got left. High tide. All right, I like this. All right. Oh man, what was weeks and weeks of videos of me saying I don't know what to tell you. It's finally seemingly happening. All right, so real quick, if you can please subscribe, if you can please share this video, it does wonders with the algorithms. All right. Oh my goodness. All right, so where do I want to start? Because I mean, this is just, there's a lot of prettiness happening right here, okay? This was a stock that was doing really well, all right? This was a stock that was actually above all 5 moving averages before most of the other tickers in the weed sector. This was a stock that actually rode above the moving averages really, really well. And then basically, I believe this might have been an earnings drop, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but nonetheless, this was obviously a dumb resistance that it couldn't get over, and then what ends up happening is it just starts to live within too many moving averages, right? What goes from riding it up starts to kind of become living in it, right? And you know, I'm okay. The 50 should be a thing that bounces it up, but once it slipped down to the 100, that's what really got it a little extra scary, because not only are you dealing with these 3, you now might be sitting with four moving averages in that cluster, right? All of a sudden we got the news, all of a sudden we got Germany, all of a sudden it started to look again like we were going to break it. This candle gets over it. Doji doesn't count. The day after the doji is generally very telling. I know that's only a 4% day, but that's a real big candle to me. That is a candle that actually makes me start to think $2. What was this day? So this September 22nd closes at 198. Oh, we close at 196. Dang, we missed it by 2 cents. Look, if we get over that 198, we're gonna come to 2. What happens after 2? Oh, there's a lot of lines. Let's delete some lines. Let's do this fresh. 13 lines. That's far too many. Okay, so I'm gonna draw this line because I do want to know when we get over that. Okay. And then from there, yeah, I mean, this is the line. That's going to be a big line. 230. Then that. Then that. I don't even think that's going to be that. I'm going to raise it to that. That's got something right there. Let's put it right here. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to raise this just a little bit more to there. Okay, I think this is what I want to do. I'm sure I could tighten it up a little bit if I zoomed into this little cluster right here. If we end up getting that high, I'll zoom in and tighten it up, all right? But I think these are the next lines up, all right? I think this is going to be a very, very critical line. If we can get over it, man, this is where high tide has a lot of green, red, green, green, green is what we'd be hunting, right? So I'm liking this. Look, that's a nice MACD. That's a nice RSI. That's real good volume. It could be a little better, I guess, but that's real good volume, especially on this thing right here. So high tide, I go back to what was just weeks of, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Is starting to feel like I can tell you and I can see a little bit more, and it looks like this thing wants to move. All right. Coming into the weekly, look at this thing. Look at the amount of room this thing has. I think the lines are drawn really well because they line up pretty well on the weekly, right? Basically, the bottom and top of this guy is what it is. Let me come to back here. That's almost half of it. Man, hold on. Goodness. No, that's the line. That'll be the line right there. I don't know if I have to delete this one now. I'm going to delete that line. I think the weekly is saying, let's look at this. Give me a second. I'm going to come to the daily and see what that looks like. I like that. I think those lines tell a better story. Moved it one up, deleted one. There it is. Boom. I like these three lines. I got them off the weekly like you can see. And one more time. The daily was finally able to escape and go. This is not overall, but look, if you can get over the 100, you'll get to the 2, and man, that's a pretty channel between that line and this line, right? So couple golden crosses happening. This is a positive MACD. That's a healthy RSI. I'm liking the daily and I'm liking the weekly. I'm liking high tide. That feels really nice to say, actually, right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. I don't think I covered MSOS last time. So let's take a look at MSOS. And hey, this seems like it's finally catching up, right? So real quickly, if you can please subscribe, if you can please share this video, it does wonders with the algorithms. You know, MSOS was lagging in a little bit of a way. It made sense, right? The headlines were German legalization. Obviously, multi-state operators are going to be focused on the U.S., right? On the multiple states that they're in. I actually thought CURLF had a Germany connection. I know CURLF is a big holding in MSOS, and I was a little surprised that that one didn't do better and maybe carried this a bit. But yeah, nonetheless, you know, it's one of those things where I think it makes sense to me that the German news didn't do much. I for sure was hoping that the sector strength would bring this up, all right? And look, nothing necessarily bad happened here, right? As you look at the lines, we held this resistance, but more than anything, we never went below the 8 moving average, right? We never were really able to confirm that we broke the 50, and that's not a great thing, right? Because that got over 2 lines. That actually isn't a horrible candle when you include the gap up, but clearly it wasn't enough. That's a good candle. That's not enough. That's all right, right? So I'm still looking for more. Is it you? No, I think at that point, yeah, you're going to have to take it here. So I'm looking for 975. I think this thing needs to get a little bit higher than this one. You can see this day closed, this Thursday, the 21st, closed at 974. So I'm going to want to be a couple cents over that for me to start thinking 1050. But look, we never lost the 8 moving average. I talk about bouncing on that line like a beast, right? And ETFs can do it too, believe me, right? So let's take a look at a couple tickers within this. TCNNF, this is TrueLeave. Looks very, very similar to MSOS, right? So that should make sense. This is one of the top holdings. Again, not the prettiest, but hey, this thing is definitely holding the 8, right? Where are you actually? Hey, this is actually 2 cents over it. You can see the 8 moving average is at 11.49. We closed at 11.51. I'll take 2 pennies over. That's definitely better than a penny below, right? So, yeah, it's not the prettiest, but hey, it is what it is, right? CURLF, CURLF. One more time. I thought that there was a Germany connection there. Let me know if yes or no. Not as pretty as the other one, right? But, you know, I wish it got over the 8, but it's at least holding that 50, and kind of the same story with all of them, right? If one escapes the 50, I'm sure that they all will. And hey, this one has a decent MACD and RSI. This one just doesn't have great volume, right? Valens. VCNN? No. I'm going to spell it wrong. Valens. Ah, dang. I don't know what that one is. I know that was another one that we did. Oh, well, I'm so sorry. Shoot me a comment in the YouTube videos if there's one that I didn't cover. MSOX is the last one I want to do. Look, this is the 2X, right? So this movement was a 10% loss. This movement up was a 7% up, right? When you look at MSOS, this movement was a 5% down. This one was a 3% up, right? So if you want a little more gasoline in your MSOS share count, I don't know how else to say it, right? If you want to move 2x what MSOS does, hey, this is the ticker to do it with. Most have a 2x up, most have a 2x down. This is a real important thing in ETFs because, again, ETFs are generally supposed to be slow and steady, right? But if you've got that gambling itch, hey, this is an interesting way to add a little sprinkle to that, right? So, yeah, I think that was a good review. And you know what? Let's just throw in SNDL just at the end, all right? This is pretty, okay? Real quick, if you can please subscribe, please share. It does wonders with the algorithms, all right? This is pretty. Big candle right here. Big candle that breaks one. That one doesn't really count because we were actually, you can see, we were over the 8 yesterday, right? So, not yesterday, the day before. So on this day, on Thursday the 21st, we were over the green line. So we break the blue one that we fell back under. We break the purple one and we clearly go up here. Monday, this was probably the best Monday for any of the weed sector. And I always say the day after the doji is very telling. That is a very telling. I mean, 13% alone is a beautiful candle. That's a big candle. We're basically right at resistance. I'll draw the next set of lines, I think is what I'll do. Let's put it right there. Actually, let's go right there. I like it right there. And then, oh my goodness, look at that, just red. I don't even think that there's much in there. I'll put that right there. Again, do not have 450 dreams on a $1.97 stock, all right? That's things that are gonna get you in trouble. I probably could draw an extra line right there around 345. Again, if we break this 278, I will draw more lines. I promise you that, right? But I think right now there's reason to think we might get here. Again, RSI is getting a little high. I would love to get over this 2, maybe hit 2, like this is what I would love to see. Let me do that. That was the video for the last one. I would love to do something like this, okay? So we come into here, we come down here, and then we rip on our way on up. Because again, an 82 RSI is going to be just a little difficult to keep on pushing. Because as I'm looking at this thing, right, there's not too many. There's definitely this one, not too shabby at a 91, right? But yeah, I think we kind of peak up here, 81. That was an 81. What was this one? That was an 80. Like, we've hit some peaks of 80, but then bad drops, right? I don't think we're going to do a bad drop, but I do think it's going to need to reset. The way I drew it would be a lovely way to do it. So I am loving this daily. Oh man, weekly's coming up to the 100, and just, I mean, look at the channel between there and there, and actually almost lines up perfectly with my 451, right? Again, do not have 451 dreams, but the weekly's kind of saying, hey, that's actually maybe a possibility as well. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Hey, I appreciate you so much.